Welcome back to Wise Words with SJ. A show where I try to talk about some wise stuff. I hope I do. I don't really know if I am or not. And you could always write me a letter or a question, wisewords at jltv.tv. And today I want to talk about, I got a letter from this kid who talked about his panic attacks and anxiety. Could I relate to that in the world we live in today? Oh my God, it's like when I was growing up in the 50s, we were always scared of the bomb, you know? Duck, roll, and cover was under the desks, like that's really going to save your life. And I talked about my diary earlier that I'm getting ready to publish from that time, and I remember reading in that diary, I was afraid that the bomb was going to come and kill us all. Some friend of mine told me that. And I believed her. And I couldn't eat for days over it. I'm just waiting for the bomb to come and take us out. And I talked to my father, and he said, "Oh, don't worry, Sandra. We can't afford another war." So I don't know. His wise words just stopped me. And then, of course, in 1962 with the Cuban Missile Crisis, that was another crisis we lived through, that we were going to be bombed and Russia was going to bomb us from Cuba. And President Kennedy came on and said, we're ready to go, but we're going to make sure that nothing is going to happen. That saved us again. So I've been living my life in anxiety and panic ever since. And the other night, I'm at home, I'm getting ready to go on a work trip. And the last work trip that I had was in New York. I was working in a show. And after a week of rehearsals, they fired me. They called me on the phone, told me they didn't like the way I was portraying the character. And so I went home. So I was nervous because I'm going on another work trip soon. Will it be like this again? Am I going to be okay? Will I do everything right? Will I make the people who hired me happy? Will everything be okay? And I had a panic attack, which I haven't had in a very long time. Let me tell you what happens to me with a panic attack. All of a sudden, my heart rate starts going up. I start sweating. I have to go to the bathroom right away and do number 2 immediately. And I thought, oh, what's going on? Is this? And I forget because I haven't had a panic attack in a long time what it feels like for me. And I'm rushing to the hospital. Oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. And thank God it wasn't the case and I was okay. But that's how my body operates. I'm like used to having these panic attacks, used to like my life being upset all the time. So are you having a panic attack or are you having anxiety? I live in a state of anxiety all the time. Like, okay, what's next? What's going to happen? Like, my husband hasn't been feeling well for 3 months. He lost his job in January. Okay, now what am I going to have to do to make sure we are taken care of? Well, I took some actions that really helped us, and we've been okay, and things are getting better now. But panicking for me is when my body goes into fight flight. All of a sudden, I'm sweating and, my heart's racing and I have a bad headache and I'm nervous and I'm shaking and my body is feeling hot and cold. The friend who wrote me, and I understand, he's a young person. And of course, in this world today, it's scary. It's scary for young people. I understand that. Like, are we going to be okay in the world? Rents are so expensive. Jobs are not forthcoming anymore. I mean, in my day, of course, yes. When you graduated college, if you were a baby boomer, you got a job right away. They offered you a good salary so you could get on your way. But today, it's not like that. It's really tough out there, and I understand that it's very tough, but I want to tell you, you're going to be okay. Listen, after my experience Saturday night, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to be okay. If they decide they don't like me, there's nothing I could do about it. I have no control over that. I have no control over whether somebody likes me or not, likes the job I'm doing, thinks I'm good enough. I have no control over that. Why worry about something that's going to happen like next week? But that's where my mind was. I immediately went back to 3 years ago, flew to New York, was working in a show. They didn't like the character that I portrayed. Of course, I had a different vision of the character. My vision was not their vision. So they didn't like my vision, so they fired me. Okay, I went home, and guess what? I got a great new job 3 years ago, and I was with them for almost a year, and that was fantastic. So things worked out for me in a good way. But thinking about the scary things when I was a kid, like the Cuban Missile Crisis and what's going to happen in the world, and, we're going to be bombed and all that kind of stuff scared me. And rightly so. It's a scary world out there. I understand it is. But I think if you hold tight and you believe that you can do good work and you're going to be all right, and I'm telling you right now, I walked through my fear Saturday night. I walked through it and I realized that, I only have fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. So that's all it was for me, false evidence appearing real. And I was okay, and I recovered from that. So next week, I'm going out on a job, and I know I'm going to do the best I can. But I understand how you feel, you young people. I have a son, he's young. I have 3 grandsons. I hope things work out for them as well. All we can do is be present in today, because all we have is today. Yesterday's a history, tomorrow's mystery, today is money in the bank. That's all we have is today. So let's enjoy today. Here I am answering another fabulous letter from a person who's written into me, hoping that I could reach out to all of you out there, and you'll all be okay. Because I tell you, because here we are. We're in the studio today, in a beautiful day in California, and with the people that we care about and the people we love. We have no control over anything. That's the reality of life. We could only say, today I'm here sitting in a beautiful studio. I'm talking to all of you, and you are going to be okay. And there's a lot you can do for panic and anxiety. You can meditate. I try to meditate every single day to center myself in the world and meditate 15, 20. I'm not one of those people who goes, I'm not one of those people who does that kind of meditation. I like to listen to tapes, music, meditation tapes, people telling me just to feel my body, and even to put my arms around that little child, me, that was so scared of so many things. I love her. She's a good person. She is so sweet and beautiful, and she's so talented. And that helps me when I wrap my adult arms around my little girl and tell her that she is going to be okay. And so are you. You're going to be okay. Trust me when I tell you that. You are. Because I know. And I'm here today. No panic. I'm feeling good. I'm with people that really enjoy me, love what I do, and I love myself. And write on the mirror at night, I love myself. You're a beautiful person. And in the morning when you go into that bathroom, you see it. I love myself. I'm a beautiful person. That helps. I know it helps me, whether it's with soap or lipstick or whatever you're writing it with. And don't forget, if nobody told you they love you today, I love you because you're you. Email me at wisewords@jltv.tv.